Hey guys, my name is Devontae, and I sacrificed my time so you don't have to. I gotta talk about this, and I don't usually, if ever, go directly from, say, a Raw or a SmackDown episode and then talk about a specific segment or talk about specific characters. Usually I just do a review and you get the segment within the review in itself, but unfortunately, again, unlike you guys, I have a life, job, kids, money, payments, bills, all this stuff usually kind of happens in my real life, and that kind of is prioritized first more than professional wrestling. I know people are like, you gotta review the Raw show, Devontae, review the Raw show. I will review the Raw show. First, what needs to happen is that you need to be in the maid suit, you need to come into my house, and you need to take care of all the stuff that's going on in my house. Take off that maid suit, put on a different suit, preferably something a little bit more construction workery, and go to my job and make the money for me and come back and pay my bills. Do all that, and I definitely will review Raw every goddamn Monday. Oh wait, you're not gonna do that? Okay, so shut the fuck up. With that being said, though, let's talk about the Miz and this little character change that's happened on Raw, because I seen Monster. This is actually what got the video going, because personally speaking, I said it once and I'll say it again, I have a healthy respect for Monster. I think Monster's, personally, I disagree with literally almost everything that he says. Not the actual situation in itself. I agree with most of the situations. Or excuse me, I agree with most of the circumstances. I just disagree with the conclusion of how we should get there. I don't know. I just don't like usually the way how it's usually proposed. But nevertheless, though, I have a healthy respect now. I like listening to people that I disagree with, who at the very least have a little bit of logic assertion put into whatever they like to talk about. I absolutely love shit like that. I hate people who just go off the cuff and, talk about AEW for an example, and it's like, AEW, the only way for it to get better is if Tony Khan were to step down. Like, that stupid shit like that. I don't really give a fuck about that. It has nothing to do with a conversation. It's just illiterate fucking goddamn autistic ramblings. I know some of you do it in the audience. I'm sorry, you're autistic as fuck if you do that. Give actual solutions. Tony Khan stepping down ain't gonna change a goddamn thing. New management comes in, if they have a way of how they usually work, unless you get someone who's like supremely within the business and they know what the fuck they're doing, ain't gonna just change overnight. Might even get worse. But with that being said, let's talk about the Miz. I keep fucking going off track here. Okay, so apparently last night, I didn't watch the segment yet, but apparently they're starting to go the way of Miz and Gunther. More in particular, they're starting to make Miz into a babyface, right? And I hear a lot of people, including the Monster, but people, I went on Twitter just to go see what was going on, and YouTube, obviously. I looked at the comment section. I didn't watch the video yet, though. I actually should watch it before I even see this, but I'm very confident in the Miz, and that kind of buried the lead a little time. But my point being is people were like, oh, the Miz turning babyface? This is gonna suck. The Miz going against Gunther? This is gonna suck. We should get Chad Gable versus Gunther. I really want to see another wrestler work another match with Gunther and give us some impressive moves. Oh, we should get some hard-hitting style. And look, here's the thing. I said it once and I'll say it again. I think I said it yesterday, actually. Gunther is currently right now my favorite wrestler in the world. I fucking love Gunther. I can't get enough of Gunther. Gunther is the bee's knees, okay? But at the same time, there's only so much you can get from Gunther if all you're going to do is just put another wrestler against him in a match, and all they do is have a match, and the entire story is, can you beat Gunther? Yeah, that's cool, but I would like to see some actual character development for some of the superstars. Chad Gable is a perfect example of a guy who can kind of accomplish both, give you a nice fucking amazing match, but at the same time have a little bit of character development and a little bit of an actual story going into the angle in itself. That's fine. And yeah, they need to revisit Chad Gable and Gunther at some point in the near future. Yeah, absolutely. I might even advocate for Chad Gable to be the one to take the Intercontinental Championship off of Gunther, but I'm still kind of 50-50 on that. It depends how good the match is coming up and how amazing the story is, because I'm still not sold on it. People can be like, oh, millennial, you're being superficial with the side stuff. I'm sorry, it is what it is. I love Chad Gable. Kind of hard to take it seriously that he's going to beat Gunther considering the size difference, but if you can give me a good enough story, if you can get me lost in the way that a Chris Benoit would do in his matches given his size, then I'm okay with that. But the Miz, though, people are saying that the Miz and Gunther is gonna fucking suck. People are saying, oh, the Miz is babyface turn. This is horrible. He works best as a heel. First off, to some of these people, I don't want to hear your nonsense in regards to telling me whether or not Miz works good as a babyface, because you hate him regardless. Like, you hate him. No matter what he does, you don't like what he does, and that's your prerogative. But don't sit here and pretend that you give a shit about The Miz and his work and whatever is going to happen in the future, given what alignment he currently is with, okay? What? Is it shit turning into piss at that moment? Because you're still going to dislike it, and you're still not going to like it regardless. At least give this a shot. When was the last time The Miz was a babyface? The last time I remember The Miz being a babyface, and I could be wrong about this, off the top of my head, I think maybe 2014-ish, 2015, 2014, maybe even 2014, I think was the last time The Miz was a babyface, and I could be wrong about that. And yeah, that sucked at the time, but that's because of the people that he was surrounded by and the roster and the characters that he was surrounded by. I still think that you could have probably easily worked something with The Miz and The Shield, and I'm going to get to that in a minute, because that's the same angle that I had in my mind back in 2013-ish when, you know, The Miz was kind of floundering as a babyface to a certain degree. I still think that, you know, with Dean Ambrose at the time, Jon Moxley obviously, be United States champion, I think that you could have worked a hell of an angle with The Miz and Dean Ambrose, just based off the stuff that I've seen how Miz's acting skills is. And I'm going to take that same principle, that same premise, and kind of juxtapose it a little tiny bit to what he's currently doing right now with Gunther. People really are sleeping on The Miz in terms of how he actually gets over his character. Yeah, his heel work can be a little bit bothersome to some people because, hey, they see The Miz as a complete and utter fucking joke. They don't give that same caveat to a guy like MJF, because MJF is a tad bit of a better wrestler, right? A tad bit. Now, he's a better wrestler than The Miz. I mean, in terms of like the moves and stuff like that. But I mean, as far as the mic work goes, the character development, yeah, The Miz is kind of the architect. I would be very, very shocked if MJF didn't steal a couple of things from The Miz. Yet people like to say that MJF is better than The Miz, which, okay, that's your prerogative, that's fine. But my point being is, though, people sleep on the character work of The Miz, and I don't know what it is. Maybe it could be a safe working style. I think it has more to do with that, and then I kind of like leads into the bias. It's kind of like you have politics and you have Republican versus Democrat, and in reality, you know, you look at the Democrat position and it's like, that's actually pretty goddamn reasonable when you think about it, but I'm a Republican and therefore I have to be like, it has to go this way or the highway. Given the circumstances, you can still have your Republican beliefs, but at the same time, use a little bit of common sense and just look at that certain situation and say that's a bad situation. Even if it happens to be up against a pundit from the Republican side, look at that situation and say it's bad, because all it does is it just makes up a bad faith situation that you really can't get yourself out of. And the same thing could be vice versa for the Democrats. Actually, definitely the Democrats, because they're very, very worse in this regard. You know, obviously look at something like, you know, Israel and Palestine. They can't not for once fucking condemn anybody from Palestine, or more in particular Hamas doing what they're doing to Israel. Whatever, we're not going to get into that subject. My point being is, it's kind of like that, where you have people who are just so stuck in their ways in regards to hating a certain wrestler or hating a certain character, that even when they do something really, really good, they just can't just look at what their work is currently at that moment and just give them the props, give them like the credit that they deserve from what they have actually done. But I will say this though, this somewhat works in The Miz's favor going up against Gunther. I'll tell you why. Because him turning into a babyface going up against Gunther, that is an amazing story waiting to happen, and I guarantee you, I will put my money on this. I'm saying it right now. Gunther and The Miz, if it happens to happen at Survivor Series, the road to that Survivor Series match, and that Survivor Series match, I'll put it right here. If they do what I think they're gonna do, that will be one of the best storylines of the year. I will say it right now. The Miz and Gunther will have the best storyline of the year. Flat out saying it. Maybe underneath, obviously, Edge and Christian, maybe a slightly underneath the Bloodline stuff, but as far as like a very underachieving storyline, that right there is your underachieving storyline, or I guess overachieving storyline. Right there, Miz and Gunther. Let me tell you how this should go down. Let me tell you what I think they're going to do and how this should definitely go down. So The Miz is going to be a babyface, right? Going forward, that's what it seems like they're going to go into. Okay, so The Miz will be a babyface going forward. Yeah, he has to do that. I think he's doing a fatal four-way match next week, right? Okay, he has to go through all that. Obviously, Gunther and his crew are going to beat the shit out of The Miz, right? And what you need to do with Gunther is that you need to play up all the time. The main thing should be Gunther pointing out, don't be embarrassed, go there. I know the Miz wouldn't mind going there. He understands that it's all character work at the end of the day. This shit is not taken seriously. None of this shit that he's currently doing right now, he does not care about to the degree of looking like a fucking Marcus saying, I have to look embarrassed, I have to win every fucking match. No, Miz understands that right now, currently, everything that matters is his character, and his character is not a reflection off of the Miz himself as a wrestler, okay? What I'm thinking right now, sorry by the way if you hear a large leaf blower in the background, I got some guy mowing the lawn right now. But yeah, no, what I'm seeing right now with the Miz and what should go on with his character development is that Gunther should point out every week that he's a fucking loser. He's a goddamn loser, and that everything that's currently going on right now for the past, what, maybe 8 or maybe let's say about 5 years, because he was pretty prominent with his Intercontinental Championship reign. Everything that's been going on, the way he lost his WWE Championship, the way the fans look at him, his wrestling style, all this stuff that's being pointed out. When Daniel Bryan did it, it was a little bit different because at the time the Miz was so much of a... He was kind of a jack-off, but he was a jack-off who was still successful. So it's like you could point out all this kind of stuff and not really get sympathy behind the Miz because it kind of seems like he was having a cakewalk of a career. Versus now, he is in so much turmoil as far as being a complete fucking embarrassment and having nothing to show for it. Look at his record. I think he won like maybe 2 matches this entire year. Look at his record. He has no championships. He hasn't won a championship in like 2.5 years, and it was a joke when he was that champion. His record is terrible. His character work is terrible. People treat him like a fucking joke. That needs to be hammered on every single week, and you need to get a promo eventually with the Miz, and I guarantee you, give Miz the microphone at this point and he will sell you on this match. The minute the Miz touches that microphone after Gunther just completely destroys him as far as pointing out all the recent things that's been happening with the Miz's career, the Miz needs to get on the microphone and he needs to pour his heart out. I mean, I want to see tears coming out of this man's face because of all the aggravation that's been going on and staining his career. All the fans that are shitting on him, all the critics who are shitting on him. For the better part of what, nearly 20 years of his career, all this has been going on. And he's been proving them wrong, left and right, left and right. People forget that he's a main eventer of WrestleMania, a 2-time WWE champion, an Intercontinental champion, I think he's a former United States champion from 2010, former tag team champion, multiple-time tag team champion, a Money in the Bank when he is a Grand Slam winner. He did all this stuff, but he was a reality star, and therefore he should not be given these opportunities because he's a reality star. He's been kicked out of locker rooms. I mean, obviously they won't mention Benoit kicking him out the locker room, but my point being is he's been kicked out of locker rooms. He's been treated like shit. He's been treated like a guy who's just been an outsider for the longest, but in reality, he's been doing this longer, been safe longer, and has been pretty much the only guy who has been in the position that has pretty much survived all these waves of cuts and firings and quittings, all the drama, all the controversy. He has stood the test of time past every superstar. He is a veteran, and he does not get treated like a veteran. And this is somewhat me saying the same thing also, but the Miz needs to support this. I mean, this needs to be that smack talk thing 2016 times 10. He needs to point out that all that happened, and yeah, granted right now, times have been tough for him. Yeah, granted right now, he is treated like a joke. Yeah, the camera people, they don't want to give him his interviews. They don't want to treat him like the legend that he is. People do not want to give, people have done much less than the Miz in the wrestling business, probably 10 years shorter than the Miz, and they're considered veterans. But the Miz has been the consistent within WWE since the early fucking 2000s. The Miz has been longer. You have these fans online critiquing the Miz, but these fans probably weren't even born when the Miz started in WWE, yet they're here critiquing him right now on the little Twitter handlers. That's what needs to happen. That needs to be said by the Miz. He needs to hammer that point home. He needs to hammer it home and needs to put himself over against Gunther in one of these promos. And I know the Miz has the capabilities to pull that shit off because unbeknownst to most people, and they won't give Miz the credit where it deserves, he is one of the best speakers in WWE today. One of the best promo guys in wrestling today, period. They won't give him that credit because he doesn't do enough 50 fucking dials that coincide with the promos, right? They won't give him that credit, but he is. Don't let Dave Meltzer's bullshit way of thinking about professional wrestling obfuscate from the fact that The Miz is one of the best. Period. Now, you have all that grounded up, right? You really promoted this match. And when you get into that match, I would presume by Survivor Series, Maybe it might happen on Raw. I don't know. I would like to see it on Survivor Series, but if it's a main event on Raw, I can deal with that also. Gunther, Miz, IC Championship match. The Miz needs to get fucking destroyed by Gunther. Like, he has a few comeback spots, but he needs to get destroyed. And every time Gunther hits him with a move, Miz, crawling, suffering, wanted to show that he belongs, even though he's been doing this for 20 years, even though he's a damn veteran, even though he has nothing to prove, he has so much to prove. And he needs to crawl for every fucking body splash, for every goddamn chop, for every goddamn power bomb, for every goddamn clothesline. Miz needs to keep fighting and 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 keep fighting until he can't fight no more. And the crowd needs to get behind the Miz. He needs to show like, hey, I can do this. I belong. I am a wrestler. As much as you want to tell me that I'm not, I am a pro wrestler. And he just needs to get the shit kicked out of him. And eventually he will fall to Gunther. He will not win the IC Championship. He's not supposed to win the IC Championship. Gunther will hit him with that powerbomb, and the Miz should be laid out on the ring, just completely destroyed. Gunther's not going to shake his hand, none of that ROH bullshit. He leaves the ring, and the Miz is laid out in the middle of the ring, and he starts getting the crowd cheering after him. That's what I mean. He needs to be strong in his promo to put this over. He needs to be strong in this match. He needs to get the ever-loving shit kicked out of him in this match to get this over. And he needs to be laid out. Just sprawled all over the ring. Sell this shit for like 2 or 3 minutes with the crowd cheering in the background. I would like to see color in this match, but obviously they're not going to do that. That's fine. I get it. And then the Miz gets up and he gets a standing ovation. And he leaves the ring with his music playing. And his wife might maybe even get Maurice to come out in the entranceway. Hell, I will even say you have Maurice come out in the audience and she's out there cheering for the Miz. Maybe backstage watching him, I don't know. But if you don't want to do all that, have Maurice come out and help her lift her husband up. Help her lift her husband up, kiss him, whatever the case may be. That's how all of that should go down, and that's how you get the Miz over. People sit here and they sleep without understanding the possibilities of where this can actually fucking go. This could be very, very fucking good. This could be the best match of Miz's career. One of the best matches of the year. But of course, because the Miz isn't a flippy flip wrestler, because the Miz isn't the technical expertise in wrestling, you want to dismiss it. It's fucking lame, bro. It's lame. Give it a chance and understand where this is going. This is where professional wrestling is in the shape that it's in, because your superficial mindset constantly going to the most arbitrary, stupid-ass, minuscule nonsense of professional wrestling. It always has to be a 5-star classic based off of what the fuck moves are happening. Not the build, not the promo, not the vignettes, not the actual story told in the match, not the characters involved in the match. No, it has to be specifically how much fucking flips you can do, and it's annoying, and it's a garbage mindset, and that's what's actually affecting professional wrestling, is fans with this mindset and asshole critics who like to use that as some fucking priority, first priority, that makes a fucking match. Lame. Leave that fucking garbage mindset behind. But I'm gonna let you guys talk amongst each other in the comment section below. Let me know how you feel about, I'm not even saying my idea, I just want to see it go somewhat in that path. Build it up a little tiny bit, give it a little bit of fucking heat. I know the Miz can pull it off. I know Gunther could be the wrestler to get the match over in that manner. But for the wrestling fans out there, in particular the younger ones, stop using double standards when applying to wrestlers, when some wrestlers wrestle exactly like the Miz, but because they can do some more flips, because they can be a little bit more edgy, you dismiss them. Stop being the wrestling fan to say that all that matters is the actual fucking wrestling in itself. It's a lame mindset. And I guarantee you the Miz and Gunther, if done right, will be a perfect example as to showing you and you and you and you and you and everybody else listening to this video who have something bad to say about the Miz, because again, he's not one of those 450 wrestlers. Hopefully it changes your mind, and hopefully it makes you understand that there's more to professional wrestling than just the flips and the kicks. I have faith in this feud, and I have faith in this match, and I hope it really, really delivers, just to shove it back in your face. And more in particular, honestly, if for anything else, It really shows how fucking versatile and how really good The Miz really is, and people just shove him to the side because he's not your stereotypical wrestler. I really hope he really shows it in your face coming up. If it's anything like Smack Talks going forward, you're in for a rude awakening. But all we have to do is just wait and see. As always, my name is Devontae, and I'll catch you guys later. Deuces, P. Ice.